It's really bittersweet to be standing here today because during the pandemic, this is where I spent nearly a year of my life at the Novotel while they herded up all of the homeless people off of the street and packed us into their death camp. I was homeless in the city of Toronto for about 15 years, and I am a former substance user. Today, like I said, I am a harm reduction worker, and I get to give back to the communities that I still believe I am a part of. If it wasn't for the world of harm reduction, I would not be able to support myself because our governments have done nothing to expand the services to the ongoing increasing homelessness crisis that our city continues to face. In fact, this past year, last year, the Ford government passed bill after bill of legislation that made it increasingly difficult for the homeless communities of our province to simply exist. I'm talking about things like Bill 6, which was an absolute travesty, which criminalizes homelessness and gives police sweeping rights to profile people that they believe are consuming drugs. Not everybody who is unhoused is a substance user, and not everybody who is a substance user is unhoused. These sweeping ability to profile people particularly affects people from communities with disabilities, both physical and mental. It also disproportionately affects people who are racialized. Black, brown, indigenous communities are disproportionately affected by this legislation. Shame. It's also worth noting that the population of people who are living unhoused are predominantly made up of black, brown, indigenous people, disabled people, queer and trans people. All of these people grossly overrepresent the people who are currently being profiled at Union Station. Shame. But this goes back. This is not an isolated issue. This goes back to April when the Better Living Center was shut down and 250 people relocated. These people were removed from all of their supports, and we're seeing this again and again with Union Station and province-wide, where people do not have the opportunity to get ahead because they are constantly bounced around for refusing services that refuse to cater to their needs. Additionally, it's worth noting that this last year, on our International Day of Housing, Bill 60 was passed, which makes it even more likely for people to be put out onto the streets. So we see again and again that our government is making it more difficult for people to get ahead when they're already so impacted. Things like a $10,000 fine and 6 months of jail time for people who are affected by Bill 6 are absolutely insane. And people continue to be stuck in this cycle because our governments continue to divest our money away from us. On a federal level, we are spending 2% of our GDP on military spending. And by shame. And Mark Carney has said he wants to increase that spending to 3.5%. 3.5% of our GDP is not 3.5% of our budget. It is 20% of our Canadian budget. That is 20% of our budget that is moving away from Canadians and towards militarization to support things like the ongoing genocide in Palestine and South Lebanon. Shame! While our infrastructure continues to suffer here, our money is being used to dismantle these very systems and reduce them to rubble across the Atlantic Ocean in the Middle East. Shame! We need to demand of our governments that they spend our own tax dollars on Canadian citizens, starting with the most vulnerable communities, and those communities are our unhoused communities. None of us are free until we are all free.